The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey, this is Mike Nelson from Mystery Science Theater and RiffTracks.com, and you're listening to the greatest show on the planet, Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme.
It's good to see everybody. Hope you spent a good week.
2 weeks in a row, we're all here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is unheard of.
And listen, no thunder, no lightning, no severe weather.
No air raid sirens.
It was cloudless. It was beautiful. I got to mow the lawn today. It was a good day here.
Yeah. Now, have you gotten the room completely aired out and
it's dry. It is dry. Thank God.
Right.
The insurance adjuster did come today.
Okay.
So, but we may have to get the entire carpet replaced in the basement.
Oh, I bet.
Oh.
So we'll see.
I did.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they say because they only pulled up half of the basement.
Right.
For those of you who are listening that don't know, about 2 weeks ago, we had a well pump failure in our closet in the basement where the well pump is, and it ejected 3.5 gallons a minute of water for several hours in our basement. So I was dealing with that. That's why if you're watching the video, you can this normally doesn't look this messy behind me, but
right.
This is the contents of my basement are all jacked. I made a little hole for my seat.
Right.
And otherwise, I got stuff everywhere down right around me.
It reminds me, though, like just hearing you describe it, I'm thinking, what that had to have looked terrible. Have you guys noticed more AI-generated commercials that are like of things like this, showing a disaster happening? You know, whereas before they'd have to pay CG, you know, they have to do a lot of computer graphics to make it look somewhat believable, but now they just throw it into AI. There is one out there, and like the commercial comes on, and I cannot stand it. Plexiderm, and I'm not knocking the product 'cause I don't know what the product's supposed to get rid of wrinkles and all of that stuff. And
Because you watch Hallmark all day long, dude. That's their target audience.
But it is the worst AI generated video I have seen. You know, the recent holiday commercials with the Bears, the Coca-Cola commercials, some people are going, come on, guys. It's a little too much. This one is to the point where it's like, and it's not just that they're using people. So they have, you know, a guy and two girls, and they're, you know, happy about Plexiderm and what it could do. I'm sorry, people, take a look for this video. Sean's Google fooing it right now. But they also have an AI-generated song. And I'm listening to it, and I go, this is Suno. I mean, I'm listening to it going, I can tell this is Suno generated. I'm pretty sure of it.
So, you know, I played with Suno quite a bit.
Yeah.
Making some parody songs, which turned out pretty great, actually. And I spent probably 30, 40 hours in there creating songs, listening, playing, you know, a couple good nights of doing it. I could hear songs that are AI generated.
Yeah.
Based off of rhythm and tempo and some inflection and stuff like this. Like, oh, this, especially with the kids radio stuff we do on Pandora. I'm intrigued. Like, it's either I'm just getting that uncanny valley where it's like, this may sound like AI, it may not. It's weird, but you can definitely tell there's definitely a rhythm, a feel that you can see and hear that it's some of it's AI.
There's more and more stuff being generated, especially on the Suno platform too. And now they're saying that they're actively screening AI generated music for copyrighted material. They just announced that earlier this month, and they're using something called Music's Match Sentinel that will look for, you know, generated music, presence of copyrighted composition. So the thing with Suno is, and some people don't understand, and I'll be honest with you, I've used it. As a matter of fact, I had a project recently, you know, I shoot video and I do, you know, special video presentations. And I did one for a guy celebrating his 70th birthday. And in this, we did interviews with people who talked about this guy, and he really nice guy, the whole bit. And at the end, they wanted, you know, a photo slideshow, and I could do that. So I, you know, put together a photo slideshow, and I said, you know, this might be better if we had a song. And I told her, I said, do you want to write a song for your husband? And she's in the arts. She's an actress. And so she said, yeah, you know what? Let me give it a try. So she did. And I took the lyrics, put it into Suno, and I asked Suno, can you generate this? And I told it the style. I said what I don't want, what I do want. And it gave me 5 different versions of songs that could be used. And I sent her all 5. And there was one she absolutely loved, and it came out great. So it certainly has, I mean, it has a purpose, and it can be used for really creating. Shawn, you found that yourself too. It could be a lot of fun, parody songs. But some people are like this commercial. I have to say, I don't know, maybe they aren't using it, but it surely sounded like it to me, to the point where it's like, no. It's like you see those AI posters, they all look the same.
Well, it's like we're just in that point with AI that it's so annoying that I have to look at every image that I see or every music song that I listen to and go, is this or is this not AI?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this original content? And it's like, I'm frustrated by that because I don't want to have to think that, right? I want to just know that somebody spent their time, their energy to create something beautiful, whether or not if it's my genre or not, right? They spent their time, their hard-earned money on building this music, this art to express themselves. And now we just don't know anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Suno's kind of changed his platform a bit. I've not experienced it yet, but they do have download limits. So for those that, are creating songs every day, I just do it when I need it. If I've got something I need to use it for. And what is this that you are showing us, Shawn? What is
that's
this?
That's Justin.
Oh, that's Justin. What is this, Justin?
I literally just did an AI image generation of Plexiderm. A little video featuring aliens and alligators using Plexiderm.
But look at what you created,
Yeah, and it took me 60 seconds to do it.
Yeah.
And it's got this TV quality image.
Right.
Or this video of it. It's crazy.
Getting great skin. Now, and what was the prompt that you used for that? That was pretty good.
I just said a ridiculous TV ad for Plexiderm featuring aliens and reptiles.
And that's it.
That's it.
Oh, boy.
But back to but Suno, when it comes to the download limits, there's going to be some download limits now. So for people who are paying for a pro plan or whatnot, for those that are just creating it every day, I have heard some songs that I'll say, wow, that's a pretty good sounding song. There's one recently called Rise Slow. I kind of like it. I like the beat. I like the feel of it. And then, of course, I asked, Google, I said, hey, is this song AI? Yes, it was AI generated. So, don't be afraid to use your AI to actually have it tell you, yes, that was created with AI.
I've got a funny little story that happened today.
Okay. All right.
So I'm in the car with my son and he wants to listen to a particular song. And the song, I'm like, I think this song comes from the video game called Geometry Dash. It's kind of like a side-scrolling.
You're bouncing a triangle around.
Yeah, I bounce a triangle around, try to complete it. But all the music is professionally made. I mean, these are like actual real music producers that are making these songs for this. And I'm like, hey, you found this song on Geometry Dash, didn't you? And he was like, no, I didn't. I swear I didn't. And I'm like, are you sure? And he started crashing out in the car. And he was just like, no, I swear to God, I didn't hear it on it. I did not hear it on it. Well, so the thing is my Tesla now has Grok built in where I can just say,
really?
Hey, Grok. And then
no way.
It interrupts and it will listen to my prompts. And I said, hey, Grok, who is this musical artist? And it was like, this musical artist is blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, are any of these songs featured in Geometry Dash? And he goes like, yes. All of his songs are featured in Geometry Dash. And I just looked at Eric and he just was like, I'm like, dude, you can't lie to me now because I can just ask the car for the truth.
Oh, God.
I had no idea that the Teslas were doing that now.
Yep.
So you actually have onboard AI with that.
Onboard AI.
That's pretty amazing.
And I can even use it to navigate too. I can be like, hey, Grok, send me to the nearest supercharger. Okay.
Right. Now, I've not yet used Grok. And I know that you like Grok.
Oh, I love Grok.
Have you used the other ones like ChatGPT or Gemini?
Oh, yeah.
Or Anthropic or any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I've used pretty much all of them. Each one of them is good for, a particular thing. I mean, pretty much when you go to Google now and you try to Google anything, you're just going to get a Gemini result. Like it's automatically going to give you an AI result, no matter what. Claude is from Anthropic. I've found that Claude is extremely good at financial and HR stuff. So
Really?
We use a lot of Claude at work. Now, we actually use Copilot. When you have Copilot for business, you can choose between Microsoft, or you can choose Claude, or you can choose ChatGPT. And it all falls underneath the Copilot license. So our finance department will use Claude because it's really good at analyzing numbers and spreadsheets and things like that, versus HR might use ChatGPT to come up with like job descriptions or whatever. I like Grok because Grok can search real-time results from X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
And I use it for a lot for coding. Now, Anthropic's Claude works great for coding as well. I like Grok. I know how to talk to it. I know what to expect from it. So I know how to use Grok much better than I do with Anthropic's Claude. And then Gemini being Google, I really just want to de-Google everything.
I've been happy with Gemini, been happy with GPT. You know, I did the paid version of that, and it's helped me out. I'll tell you, and I felt the same way about Copilot. I use Excel quite a bit, and you know, I had a spreadsheet, and normally every month I would go through, and because it was like a monthly expense, I would go through and I would change a date, and it was like, and I know there's probably a code, and don't flame me too bad, but I ended up just asking Copilot, could you please change all the, and it did, and it was helpful. So
Yeah.
again,
And that's the free version. Like if you get the paid version of Copilot, it's much better.
so now if I'm doing Office 365, I'm not using a paid version. It doesn't come with.
No, it comes with the free basic version.
Okay.
Copilot for Business is an add-on, and I want to say for us, I think we're paying, I think it's $21 a month extra per license. So,
Well, I did the other day. My cousin in England found this this picture, and she wanted to know if I could adjust it. She sent me the digital, and I looked at it, and I thought, okay, well, I put it into Photoshop first, and I adjusted it, brought up some of the, brought up some of the image, did some minor adjustments, and then I put it into Gemini, and I had Gemini clean it up, and it did pretty good. I had a small picture that I scanned, and that one, I scanned it at 600 DPI. It was black and white, and I honestly thought it was one of my mom's relatives, not realize it was my mom when she was, gosh, probably about 15 or 16. And so I ended up, and I found that Photoshop for me works better. If you just take an image and you just throw it into Gemini or, one of the engines to say, can you generate a cleaner version of it? It changes those images. It does just too much adjustment. But if I put it into Photoshop first or even Lightroom and I make some adjustments, like adjusting, doing the denoise or doing the sharpening or bringing up, the brightness or whatnot, then if I want to really bring it up and I'll put it into Gemini, it just gives me a better copy. The one problem I am having is with Polaroids. I am finding that Polaroids, especially, when they were taken.
This is right down Sean's path, by the way.
Yeah, especially when they're not in the best light. I have found that you just can't take that Polaroid and put it into Gemini and say, can you clean this up? Because it will just go haywire on you. And I've tried doing it in Photoshop too. Still don't get that 100% result. And number one, I found out that I can't use the fast scanner with a Polaroid. They don't bend. So you have to use a flatbed. So I have to use the flatbed on that. Yeah. Are you able to use the 680?
I scanned a ton of Polaroids in it.
It wouldn't pull. Mine would not scan. I have an Epson as well.
No, I scanned hundreds of Polaroids through mine.
I had to use a flatbed and do it.
Well, I turned them sideways.
Oh, that's
because it wouldn't pull. It wouldn't pull over the, when you take a Polaroid, it crushes the film and squeezes the emulsion over whatever.
Yeah.
I found that it would get stuck on those, so turning them sideways, it just pulled them in.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that. But have you found a way to make those a little more dynamic before maybe?
I mean, I don't edit my photo. I mean, I do very minimum control work on my photos, right? I do very minimum editing. I don't think I touched any of my Polaroids, to be honest. I scanned them in. That's what I like about Polaroids is it's what you get. That's why I think Polaroids are so unique in why people love them is that, yeah, you have to do a lot of work to make them look really good. Like if you're trying to make studio quality work with a Polaroid, you have to do a lot of lighting, a lot of creative design, right? But if you're just out in the wild shooting, I'm loving the light leaks. I'm loving the errors you get from the film getting crushed weird, or when it gets, when you take the picture and it slides through. And
Right.
I don't know. I find value in those pieces. I don't think I edited any of my Polaroids. Maybe just some cropping.
Right.
If it scanned in funny when I was original, because before I got the fast photo, I was scanning them 4 at a time on my flatbed. And if they got cockeyed a little bit, I'd crop them or whatever. But
yeah.
I've scanned in Polaroids from probably as far back as the mid 60s. My mom's stuff from when she was a kid.
The color is never always that dynamic with.
No, it's never has been. It's the film is not designed that way, right? It's not high quality. I wouldn't say high quality, but it's not your Kodak film, right? It's Polaroid. Yeah. That's the staple of Polaroid. Was cheap at the time, but now it's a little bit more expensive.
It's way more expensive.
I sent you guys a link today, if you saw that. But Pokemon and Polaroid have teamed up.
Wow.
So Polaroid has unveiled a Pokemon collaboration with 9 special edition pieces. The Polaroid Go. It's funny. People are
They're calling it the Polaroid Go, really?
Well, so they have a Go version. They have the Gen 3. They have a Go. So they have a special edition now, Gen 3 Pokemon design. They have a Pokeball version, so it looks like a Pokeball. It's got the red, the white, and a Pokeball as the shutter release. A Polaroid Go camera Generation 3 Pikachu edition. So it's yellow. It's tiny. It's compact. It's got a flip up Pikachu tail. And then a Polaroid Go camera Generation 3 Sylveon edition. Sylveon's a Pokemon, if you didn't know that.
Right.
Then they have 3 new Pokemon tailored art frames. So like the actual art frame around the actual image itself.
Oh,
they've got a starter edition, so you can, or a base. I'm assuming it's the base 150. I'd have to look at it a little bit closer. The Pokemon edition, they have a Pikachu edition, so all of the frames are yellow with the Pikachus on them. And then they have a Sylveon one. And every box of film you get has the blank screens. When you put the film in for the first time, it spits out a dark screen.
Really?
It spits out a blank, basically a blank.
Right.
And each one of those is going to have a new Pokemon on it or a custom. It's whatever. It's the collectibles.
Yeah.
I just throw them out because they're blank.
Now, how much are these going to go for? Any idea?
The Pokeball version is $139.
Ooh.
The Pikachu edition is $99.
Right.
The Sylveon design is $99. And then the films are about $23 for probably a pack of 8, which is what they usually go for.
Right. All right. Am I being a fuddy-duddy saying, okay, this is cool. It's a lot of money. The film.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's a fuddy-duddy?
An old person like me. But
okay.
I'm
Too
thinking
much Hallmark.
It's Hallmark. It's a Hallmark term. But no, I'm just wondering because you could give your kid one of these because this is geared at obviously the kids. Right?
Excuse me. It's geared at
you.
It's geared at me.
Kids at heart.
I think I said this to about a dozen people today because I grew up. Pokemon was targeted to me,
right,
as a kid, right in the mid 90s. Like that was me. I played Pokemon on my original Game Boy. Like I've played a lot of Pokemon games over the years.
So would you walk around campus at Notre Dame, snapping pictures with your Pokemon Polaroid?
100%.
I could totally imagine that, knowing Shawn.
I told Caitlin I'm buying one of these. I'm probably buying the Pikachu one.
Oh, man.
But now it's the Go version, which is tiny, which is much smaller, right? The one that I have, the one that I bought 4 years ago already at this point,
right,
is the Polaroid Now, which is a little bit bigger. It's got some more flash controls. The Go is smaller, and the film is actually smaller too. So they're not 4-inch by 4-inch or whatever they're. I'm trying to look at the size. The film's a little bit smaller. So,
but okay, so isn't it better though to give your kid an old smartphone and let him go take pictures with that?
So I actually bought my boys a digital camera. It's I'll have to look up the model I bought, but it's a digital camera. It takes mediocre pictures,
Right.
but I can just hand it to them. It's in a rubberized case, and they just, every time we go on a trip, I just hand it to them, and they run around and take a gazillion pictures.
I think Camp Snap, which we've looked at before, they had a pretty good idea, and they're still doing. They actually just put out a video, Camp Snap, which I'd love to get my hands on and take a look. And it's shaped like the old Bell & Howell 8mm, with the grip and the handle and the whole bit. But, I mean, they had that right idea. But I just wonder, that's a lot of money for the film, a lot of money for the camera. And again, I'm just thinking, you give the kids an old smartphone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving Max. I'm not giving my 5-year-old a Polaroid camera. He'd click.
Yeah.
He'd click 5 shots of the ground or somebody's butt.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Eric did. Except it was the cat's butt. But yes.
Right.
He wasted like 4 packs of Polaroid. But you know what? It's so much better than a smartphone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got to draw the line somewhere. I let Eric on the screen so much. I let him watch YouTube. He has his own gaming computer. But there's certain things like that where I got to say, no, go play with dirt. Go play with the old Polaroid camera. Figure that thing out, how it works. Take some pictures. Just don't waste them all because I'm not going to buy anymore.
Yeah, I see your point. And again, we do. It's so easy for us to say, "Here, kid, here's a screen," and this maybe will spark a little more creativity. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly. It's more creativity. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think maybe I'm speaking from personal experience here, but I think I'm already past the point of no return with him with digital stuff because. It's like we were going to gymnastics a little bit ago, and he had already spent maybe, I don't know, let's say 45 minutes. 45 minutes on his computer playing games. And then I'm like, hey, get ready for gymnastics. He's like, I'm going to bring my Switch and I'm going to play games while I'm waiting. I'm like, dude, you got like 5 minutes of waiting before you have to go.
Right.
No, you're not going to bring a Switch. Well, I want to because I get bored. Dude, go play with other kids, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, he's so addicted now to screens, and that's my fault.
It's funny. There's a lot of companies, and we've got our friend that's been on the show, Sean. You introduced us to him, that had the book that has all the mechanical things that move. And a matter of fact, hold on here, I got it right here. This book,
Computer Engineering for Babies.
Computer Engineering for Babies. If you ever want to find a good, Faith Roberts puts this out. We recommend this book. There's another one that just came out for Worldwide Buddies. And, we want to get the kids away from the screens. It's Worldwide Buddies. And how it works is, you open up the book and it's kind of like Chase's books. They're thick because they have, electronics inside of it. And the thing is, they'll read. The goal is get them to read. But it has this little magic wand. And they can move over like certain areas and it will light up. So the kids can read and then use the wand and find out what lights up and then move to the next page.
You want to know what's funny about that?
What?
This is new to you, isn't it?
Well, kind of.
Relatively.
Yeah. I mean, did you have something like this?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Misa had this when she was a kid.
Are you kidding me?
We're like 5 decades behind Japan in kids technology.
Swear to God. Swear to God.
Really?
Yo, seriously. Yeah. Misa's had that kind of book since she was a kid.
Oh, my God.
That with these magic things where like you run a pen or something over the book and it will like read for you, or it'll tell you what word it is or whatever. Like they have these, like, Eric's got this cool toy. It's like literally a small convenience store, and it has little tiny discs that, not discs, but like little tiny squares that represent different food products that you could buy at a convenience store. And they all have NFC tags built into them. So he just scans it with a little dongle and boom, it rings it up on this little computer that he's got. And I'm like, is this new? She's like, no, it's been out for like 20 years.
Oh my God. See, I saw this. This is groundbreaking.
Yeah, no, it's not. This is Japanese. This is like standard book reading stuff in Japan.
All right, listen, we got to take a quick break. We do have a question standing by when we come back. And Justin, I think you might just be the right person for that if you've been thinking about extending your network. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin. Let me find us on the web at TechtalkRadio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. I'm Justin, and we got a listener question from Ron in Tucson. He says, I love your show, guys. Listening to here in Tucson when I can and catch it on the website, but also wanted to get your thoughts on a router. He's thinking of an Eero, but wondering if it's any good. He said, Justin seems to know a little bit about networking, so could you share? Ron, well, Eero. Who makes Eero, by the way? I forget. I think that's Netgear.
No, I thought it was too. My kids have Frontier uses it, Verizon, but it's actually owned by Amazon. Amazon basically bought the company, and now the Eero is put out by them. So it's like from what I understand, it's like a mesh network. And the one
Eero is a mesh. Yeah,
the one they have is okay. It works for them. I had it set up when they moved in. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I like the idea behind the mesh network. Mesh networks work great.
Yeah.
However,
Orbi is the one that I think from another company that's pretty good too.
There's so many different companies that make mesh networks now. I have a brand new one from TP-Link. Here's my problem with Eero and Nest and other ones. These are made by the big tech companies. So Eero is made by a subsidiary of Amazon. Okay. Right. So what you're going to get with Eero, and you can say the same thing about the other big ones that are made by the tech companies, like I said, Nest, and I'll have to think about the other ones. TP-Link is not one of them because they're not made by one of the big tech companies.
No.
My point is,
Asus.
When you have Eero, what you're doing, unbeknownst to you, is you're sending every single bit of your data to Amazon. Really? And Amazon then is going to use that to target ads towards you, or they're going to turn around and sell that information because that's what they do. That's why these things are so cheap, because they make money on the back end with your data. Well, so do not go with those kind of things. A little bit earlier, Ron, if you were listening, I kind of made a very quick analogy to, not analogy, but just a reference to de-Googling. Okay. Right. Getting rid of Google, getting rid of your Gmail address. Like everything you do in Gmail, everything you do on Amazon, everything you do on Facebook, all of that is being used to target ads towards you. And I'm done with it. And so are millions and millions of other people. They're tired of the big tech companies. So real quick,
Justin, when you think about it though, let's face it, we've all done this where you've Googled something. You're looking for something.
That's why I don't Google anymore.
Amazon and you're looking for something. And you'll notice that your ad feeds on Meta or some of the other, sites that are out there, you'll start getting those ads based on the product you were looking for.
No, not even that. I can be sitting at my desk at work with my phone turned off, the screen turned off, just sitting there on my desk, and I might mention something, and all of a sudden now I'm getting targeted ads for this. Now, I've told this story many, many times on this show. Way back in the day, I want to say probably, close to 10 years ago now.
Right.
I tested this. I had an Amazon Echo, and I had a Nest. At the time, it was Google Home, or maybe now it's Home. I don't know, whatever. And I walked around the house, and I kept saying the words Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini.
Right.
I kept saying it over and over and over again. And all of a sudden on Facebook, I started getting ads for Lamborghinis and Ferraris and other high-end vehicles. Right. Your phone is always listening. So Apple is not immune to this. Google, Pixel phones, Samsung runs on Android, which is owned by Google. All of that. They're all listening to you. If you're not paying for your product, and I don't count buying the hardware, that's a piece of it. If you're not paying for it, you are the product.
Right.
So when you buy an Eero, you might spend a couple $100, but that couple $100, that thing's worth a lot more if it wasn't tied to Amazon or other companies where they're going to take all of your data on the back end and sell it. So my recommendation would be to go with a company like Unify. Now, you're going to have a little bit more of an investment into that Unify, but the Unify is closed. It is not your data is not being sold to any other company. It is a US based company. Or you can go with TP-Link. Now, you look up TP-Link, you're going to be like, whoa, hold on a second. That's a Chinese-based company. No,
Yeah.
TP-Link got sold to a United States company. So anything TP-Link branded in the U.S. is a U.S.-based company, TP-Link USA.
You sure about that?
Yes, I looked this up beforehand.
Oh, all right.
If you go outside the USA, you're getting stuff from China. Now, the TP-Link hardware is still manufactured in Taiwan, but it goes through a rigorous process when it comes in the United States. And I know people are already rolling their eyes at me, but it does go through a rigorous process to say, we do not have any Chinese spyware on our devices or whatever it might be.
Right.
So I would say Unify, top of the line, TP-Link, next. Don't really like Eero.
One of the things I found out, I did a little research after reading Ron's question to us, and I thought this was interesting, is the Eero doesn't allow you to log into it. Like you can't, you know how
Oh, heck no.
the Linksys, you have a web interface, so you can log into it. You can set parameters.
TP-Link, I can log into it.
Yeah, the Eero doesn't allow you to do that. It's a web app driven, so
Yeah,
it's
because
it's on your smartphone or your tablet.
Yep.
If you want to do anything with it, what you can do, you would have to do on your device rather than being able to do it via your computer, which made me feel a little funny.
Yeah, and also they completely lock it down because they don't want you to be able to block them from doing what they truly want to do, and that is stealing your data.
All right, so you would suggest to Ron maybe look at a
Unify.
Unify. What do you think about Linksys? I mean, I have always used Linksys and I like them, but you know that
It's a Chinese company.
well, yeah.
So, I mean, Cisco technically owns Linksys. I get that. Cisco is a US based company. They do own Linksys, so they might go through the same process as TP-Link does now, where the devices are manufactured in Taiwan or in China, but then they go through that process to make sure they don't have any backdoors. But you know what? Honestly, putting on my tinfoil hat right now, it doesn't really matter what you got because the CIA can always get in.
Now we have Wi-Fi 7. Is Wi-Fi 7 something that people should go ahead and make the move to from Wi-Fi 6 if they've got that?
If
they
you
get to
can
see a
support
big
it.
difference? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huge difference in Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 6, and it was pretty good. Wi-Fi 7 is even better. Not a lot of devices support it. I mean, the latest smartphones will support it. The latest computers will support it. Desktop computers, really don't. The thing about Wi-Fi 7 is, now that we've got some of these ISPs that are offering multi-gigabit connections,
Right.
you got to upgrade not only just your internet service, but then you got to upgrade if you have any type of, Linksys switches or Netgear switches, or even just your desktop computer's network card has to support multi-gig in it. So like if you got a 1 gig switch that's behind your modem, even though you might pay for 2.5 gig service, that 1 gig switch is limiting your stuff down to 1 gig. So you're never going to see the benefits of it. So when you upgrade to things like Wi-Fi 7, which can support multi-gig, you need to make sure that your devices and the rest of your networking equipment can support it.
All right. Well, I hope we helped you out, Ron, with that. If you ever have a question, feel free to drop us a line, techguys@techtalkradio.com. Shawn, what is your experience with some of this stuff as far as routers and the like?
So I have a Netgear Nighthawk.
Nighthawk's supposed to be good. Yeah.
Which is what I've had that
Pretty good.
since I moved into the house in 2019. And it's been good. I actually was going to ask you guys what you would recommend for a Wi-Fi router.
The TP-Link. TP-Link Deco. DECO is what I got. It's a 3. You can get 3, you can get 5, you can get 7 different mesh units. And so you've got the main router downstairs, and then you put the mesh units throughout the house, and they all connect to each other, and then you've got Wi-Fi throughout the house. I love TP-Link Deco.
Yeah, you had mentioned Unify, which
Unify's the best.
I've looked at doing, so I can do some stuff with Tailscale and some exit nodes and things like that. So I'm a little bit of a home
Exit
labber.
nodes? Are you a dark web?
No.
Are you? He's like, I just want to do some stuff with, exit nodes, running the Silk Road, now that Ross is in jail and stuff,
No,
got to keep the business flowing.
I just want to start upgrading my Wi-Fi and stuff like that too. Not that my kids are going to be getting onto it, but I want to start separating some stuff onto some VLANs.
Unify.
And
if you can afford it, Unify.
So
yeah, will it allow you to manage the different IP addresses with Unify?
Oh yeah, I can do that with
Unify is the best.
I can do that now. I can do all that layer 2. Yeah,
Right.
all the layer 2 stuff now. But I just haven't dug too deep into it. But I want to start separating some of my stuff so that I'm not I'm not sharing my IP pool with all my Wi-Fi cameras and all that stuff too.
What I love about Unify is you got the Unify Dream Machine.
Mhm.
That is like it's basically a network server that all it does is manage your network, but it is a server class. It's literally a rack mount device that will sit in your network, and the Unified Dream Machine does so much stuff. It's amazing. It is enterprise grade, made for consumers.
Yeah, I looked at getting one of those. I don't have too many containers I'd want to put on it though. So it's like it doesn't really suit what I want to do.
Put a Pi hole, put your home assistant.
I can do. I'm trying to figure out what I can migrate from my current home lab into make it a little less. I don't know.
Well, if Matt would ever join us again, he's got a whole Unified Dream Machine at his house, and he's got Unified running through the whole thing. He could talk for hours about that.
Matt is up to his eyeballs in network stuff, so we understand that. But what about pricing on Unify? If somebody wants to look into that, and is this something can you walk into Best Buy or Costco and say, "I'm looking for Unify"?
No,
or is this something
Micro Center maybe?
Micro Center, or just go to UI, the Ubiquity store. It's online. They have their own store. They sell direct to consumer.
I know Broadway on the show has worked with Ubiquity for years.
Yeah, that's Unify. Ubiquity Unify, yeah.
Well, he was in a unique scenario on his farm where he had to do point to point to get stuff.
That's what makes Unify really special.
Yeah, so you could buy the Unify bridge and a couple other pieces, and so.
Okay, for instance, like Ron. Let's go back to Ron. What happens if Ron has that situation where he's got a garage that's detached from his house, but he's got a little man cave in there? How can he get internet over there without having to trench a line, put conduit in, and run an Ethernet cable? Boom. Ubiquity Unify point to point.
Perfect.
Wireless dish.
All right. And is there a website for Ubiquity if our listeners want to look
UI.com.
UI.com.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I got to tell you a story about something I did Saturday that terrified me. And maybe you guys have your thoughts and you can help this person in the future. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Send us an X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Harold Perrineau, and you're listening to the Geeks on the Radio, Tech Talk Radio.
All right, so last week we talked about prepping, preparing for a disaster and all the, bad stuff that might never happen.
Right.
So I went ahead, I did purchase a few things, and one of the things I purchased was a NOAA radio, NOAA, hand crank, solar powered, lithium ion battery on board radio. And it does FM, AM, and it does all the weather bands. And so I had it in my car because I took it to work and I wanted to show my coworkers. And I wish I had it down here, but I don't. But it's very small hand crank radio. It does have a lithium ion battery on board. It does have a solar panel for charging. It does take AAAs in case you want to use AAAs. But anyway, I had it in my car and I picked up Eric, my son, from school. And during that time, when I picked him up that particular day, it was a lot of storm clouds around. Like we had some thunderstorms coming through the area. And in the car, as we were driving, all of a sudden we heard bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, okay, they normally do this right around this time on the radio station, I was like, oh, we were sitting at a stoplight. So I was like, ooh, grab the NOAA radio, turn it on to the weather band. And he's like, oh, okay. So he turns it on to the weather band real quick. And all of a sudden, again, you hear that bam, bam, bam. But this time you hear beep. at the end of it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. This is real.
Right.
And he's like freaking out. He starts freaking out. He's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What's happening? What's happening?
Why are you
And it was
terrifying
like,
your kid?
from another radio flash flood warning for the following counties,
Right.
Douglas County, Jefferson County.
Uh-huh.
And he's freaking out. And I'm like, oh, it's just flash floods, dude. And he's like, are we going to die? Are we going to floods? I don't like this thing. And he goes and he tries to throw the NOAA radio out the window of the car. And I'm like, no, don't do that. He's like, I don't like emergency alerts. I don't like them. I'm like,
Yeah.
They do it. And he goes, why do they have to use such a weird tone? And why do they have to use such a weird voice? I'm like, they do that by design. They want you to pay attention. So they're going to create something that's going to make you pay attention.
Well,
he goes, I'm going to sue the NOAA.
For those people that don't know why they use those tones, right? They're specifically designed to trigger the EAS alert systems via tone at the radio, at the TV station. So it triggers the lower third crawl and all that stuff. So automatically. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know why, that's why.
But also those specific frequencies they use to generate the dang, those are 3 frequencies combined together that are only able to be produced by the EAS system. Nobody else is allowed to produce those tones.
There was a song that had used that, and
they got they got sued. Yeah. So you are not allowed to use those combination of the 3 tones put together in any type of media format by any. And so, me just going, obviously is not good enough to generate those tones. But you get the point.
My life.
So you get the point. Yeah, I know. Well, I was in radio too. I remember all those days of having to do that.
Well, I'm going to tell another funny story here too, to combine with yours. So when I worked at ABC here in South Bend,
right,
I was the engineer on call during the day, during the newscast. And I'm just have the news on, I'm listening to it. And all of a sudden I heard the tones and I was like, oh God, there's an alert. Like I got what's going on. And I was like, wait, we're just in a package. They're just playing a package. And I was like, oh no. So the reporter had put in the emergency alert tones in her package to talk about weather and other things like that. And I was
fired.
I marched down to the news director's office and I said, you have to pull that out of I don't care, because this was at 5:00, right? So it was going to air again at 6 and 6, whatever. I was like, that cannot air again. That cannot. And she's like, what do you mean? It's like, that's illegal. Like we are going to, we are going to get fined if that airs again. And she's like, no, you can't tell me to pull something out of a newscast. I was like,
you know who I am? I
was like, I don't care. That cannot air again. I just was very upset. I was like,
I will pull the plug. I'm the engineer.
Probably the most aggressive I've been about it because I know how serious it is. And then the next day I got an email from our corporate IT, our corporate people saying you made the right call by telling them not to do that. But
okay.
But it was one of those things. It caught my attention right away because I was like, why is there a tone going on?
Boom.
Which is the whole point.
That's the whole thing.
But
that's the whole point.
I had to fight because I was like, nobody knew that was against the law.
I don't know what it is, but we get the monsoon storms here. So we get the alerts, we get the flash flood warnings, and they serve a purpose. But it will always happen when I have the headphones cranked and I'm enjoying a song that we're playing here at KGVY and it'll go off. It's like, oh, it's not good in your headphones.
We talked about how a lot of the shows I've been under severe weather, right? And Andy, you and I have done plenty of shows where my weather radio starts going off in the background and you guys hear, you're like, what's that noise?
So that that thing right there. I didn't notice this, but yes, when I have my NOAA radio turned on, and if I get an EAS alert while listening to the NOAA radio, it triggers the SOS sound on the NOAA radio, which is a very loud siren. It's like, and I'm like, oh my God, how do I turn this off?
Now, back to the main point of you getting this NOAA radio. They're not that expensive.
No, $40.
These are really good to have. The idea that, remember, we all carried transistor radios. And, we moved from transistor radios to carrying smartphones with Spotify and, our web stream or whatnot. The thing is, having a transistor or having this NOAA radio is even more important because, again, in a situation where stations are maybe knocked off the air, you're going to be able to receive these alerts, and that's super important.
And it's not just weather. This is, I mean, yes, you're listening to the NOAA weather broadcast, but these are literally the federally licensed stations that are typically just simply letting you know what the weather forecast is, but they are designed to be for all alerts. So if there was World War III breaks out, boom, you're going to hear it on that channel.
You remember 4 years ago, we all started getting into shortwave.
Oh,
we got shortwave amateur radio.
Sean was the only one that was successful about it.
Sean, I got my license. I have my, I ended up getting my license and I got my radio.
I gotta catch up.
I have not tuned in and listened. I get the notifications that they're doing stuff. I just haven't. And, I'd like to keep up on that.
It's interesting because this is actually irrelevant to today. When I got you guys into it, I was talking about the linked repeaters on GMRS, right? So the smaller band of frequencies available to more people for a lower cost, lower entry barrier. So the linked repeater system technically was not legal under the FCC rules. So you cannot internet link two GMRS repeaters together. Now, the ham radio stuff is different because that's all licensed banding and there's more available.
And you got your technician, right?
Yeah, general. So I went two levels up. So I was talking to people all the time throughout Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin and stuff, because we linked a couple guys in this group, linked repeaters together in these areas and created this wide network of linked GMRS repeaters. The problem was, again, it wasn't legal. So the FCC said, hey, we really don't want you guys doing this anymore. So they shut down that. So I went from talking daily to nobody.
Yeah.
So I kind of got lost interest in the GMRS side of stuff. There was another group down in Georgia called Northern Georgia GMRS Group that was still doing this and linking up multiple repeaters until like earlier in August. And the FCC contacted the guy who was leading this, said, you've got 30 days to figure it out. You can respond to this letter, whether or not you're going to take your linked repeater system offline. And now they're fighting back saying, we've been doing it long enough that we should be able to keep doing it. And they're they're basically trying to commandeer most of the northern Georgia area and maybe spread around there a little bit.
Right.
But they're taking the GMRS, which is also, if you go to Walmart or whatever and buy those blister pack radios, GMRS uses the same frequency channel plan as the FRS radios, Family Radio Service.
Yeah, GMRS, like when you think of FRS, you're thinking of those like cheap little walkie-talkies.
Yep. There's 22 channels that they can talk on, and they're limited to like a half a watt per channel or something. Yep. GMRS allows you to expand on that, do a higher powered, and actually use the repeater function. It's like instead of a
single tower,
instead of a simplex, right? You're doing a duplex, and people are abusing that at those levels, and it's interfering with FRS, the ability for other people, because now they're connected through multiple states and multiple regions. So those frequencies are being used at a higher capacity, and people are complaining that, well, I can't use my FRS radios because we're linked up and we're hearing the repeaters and we're hearing all this stuff. So it's an active case if you're interested in looking it up, if you're a ham radio user or into GMRS.
The Green Valley Amateur Radio Operators Club, they'll be able to get more info about that too. A new game I'm playing. I played Toon Blast for years. I'm at level like over 12,000, right? And I love it. It's fun.
It's over 9,000.
It's gotten to the point where it's like, So I've moved to this game, and I don't know why. Remember, I tried Bubble Pop for a while on your smartphones. This one is called Amaze.go.
Website doesn't exist.
Well, it's the app. It's the game is called. You find it on your app store.
Oh.
So there's no website, but you just move little arrows and try and build yourself out of a shape or a box. I hate the ads. There's ads that are too long. For the company makes another product called Something Match, but it's still kind of fun if you want to give it a try. It's called, again, Amaze.go. Look for it in your app store if you want to give it a try and try it out. All right.
Somebody also put this in here in the show notes. There's this thing called hop.earth.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
We'll take a break. We come back. I want to tell that story about this past Saturday, but we'll do that when we come back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Send us an email, techguys@techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
This past Saturday, I got a phone call that somebody's computer was not working. The fans weren't spinning, and it wasn't coming up. And so I said, okay, well, you want to bring it over? And they brought it over, and they left it while they went back to work. They had to work on that Saturday. And I opened up the case, and it was like a carpet of dust.
Oh.
The CPU, and I'll put a picture of it on our blog.techtalkradio.com. The CPU cooler that takes, the CPU and cools it has a fan on top of it. That fan would not move, and it was like in between the blades was nothing but dust. There was a fan on the front of the case. It was an old HP that also had C's, and there was dust inside of that.
What kind of living conditions are they?
I don't know. I said, she said it was on the floor. They keep it on the floor. They have a dog. The room gets kind of hot. And well, no wonder, because your computer's heating up the room, basically. So I was able to, luckily, remove the fan. The fan still spun once I got the dust carpet out of there, got the CPU itself, the cooler, cleaned of all the dust. The other fan was a no-go. That one just would not spin. I sprayed some electric contact cleaner in the bearing hole, was able to get it to move, but I thought, you know what? I have another fan. I'll just put that in there, and they were good to go, but had to do a pretty good cleaning. It's a good reminder, if you keep your computer on your floor, you have animals, cats, dogs, whatever, make sure you give it a good cleaning once in a while. Shawn, you showed me that blower that is good for getting dust out of computers. I have the same one, but I also have a vacuum that works pretty good for.
I have that same one too.
These are great. Where do you get that? You get that on Amazon, right?
Yeah, Amazon. It's called ATEng or AEng. I don't know. It's a Chinese brand,
right.
But it works great. It's powerful. The kids love playing with it and blowing in their hair.
Just remember, if you're going to clean dust off of CPU fan or a dust fan or whatever, just make sure you hold down that fan and make sure it's off. Don't be doing it when it's on.
Yeah.
But make sure you hold that fan before you give that a spray. Same thing goes with the canned air. A lot of people like to use canned air. That can blow too much stuff. If you get too close, you get liquid on it. I recommend what Shawn had gotten, and that just works out great. All right. So Hop Earth, you mentioned that before the break. Can you quickly tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, apparently it is kind of like a video game inside of a web browser. It generates roads and terrain in real time using OpenStreetMap and satellite elevation data, letting you drive through locations almost anywhere in the world without downloading anything. So you kind of just jump in, you pick your location, your person parachutes down to the roads, and it generates the roads and it generates the map, and you're kind of placed where you want to be. And then you can summon a car, get in the car, and start driving around. And it's kind of like old school GTA or...
I didn't realize...
Yeah, that's really loud.
My bad.
Yeah. I think he's driving a Tesla Model Y right there, too.
What kind of music are you listening to? Is that death metal?
It's whatever...
Death EDM or something?
I got into the car. I don't know.
But anyway, it's kind of cool. It's free. It's free to play. Hop.earth is the website. Hop.earth. HOP.earth.
Love the music, although I'd probably have some Engelbert, maybe some Tom Jones playing while I'm driving down the street as I drive.
It's unusual to be loved by anyone.
Please don't ever do that again. All right,
okay.
That's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Tom Jones. We'll see you next week.
Talk about unusual.
Yeah.